Hi, I'm sayakatcosplay and welcome to today's video, which is a wig tutorial on how I made this lovely Daki wig. Daki's a character from Demon Slayer, and I made this wig in collaboration with my good friend Plexi Cosplay. She's the one who modeled and made all these lovely hair ornaments, so if you'd like to see how to make those, you can go to her video, which is in the description box down below. If you're here to see how I styled the wig, well, that's what we're doing today. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, whatever, subscribe, things, but you know, do that thing. Alright, let's get into the making of this wig. The base wig that I used for this is from Amazon. I'll link all my materials for the wig making down below. The first thing I did for this wig was to customize the hairline by ventilating fiber into the lace. I am not an expert at this. I'm actually very slow. I'm going to link tutorials for how to ventilate lace front wigs in the description box down below. This part of the wig making process is totally not necessary. If you want to skip ventilating the front of your wig, don't want to use a lace front, etc., you don't need to do this. This is just me being a perfectionist and kind of just wanting to zone out and ventilate a lace front for like a day. And so I'm going in and tying in fiber, you know, a couple of hairs at a time and making a widow's peak and other features of this lace front. Again, don't follow this video for a lace front wig tying in tutorial because this is not a tutorial for that. I'm going to link those tutorials down below again. And so I did this, and then the next step after this is pretty much where the quote-unquote tutorial part of this wig making process starts. The whole ventilating process ended up taking me about 9 to 10 hours total. It took me a long time, but I was very happy with the results, and then moved on to doing the rest of the wig. So this is the wig at the end of day one. Well, day one was yesterday. I just tried it on, and I'm going to do some alterations to what I did yesterday. I'm going to bring the widow's peak down a little bit. I'm also going to bring this down by about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to pluck out some of these areas over here. They come a little far down on the forehead, so I'm going to go ahead and make those alterations, and then the hairline should be all set, and then I can start to style the rest of the hair. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. So I brought the hairline down about 1/4 inch, extended the widow's peak down, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it now. I plucked out a little bit of the sides, just a thin amount. I might do that a little bit more. So now it is time to start floofing the fiber. So I'm gonna floof all of this. That's gonna take a while. So to floof all this fiber, I'm going to crimp it. I'm going to crimp the whole thing, and then I have another wig which I'm going to harvest wefts from for the ponytail, and I have to crimp that too. So this is going to be a lot of crimping. I'll film a little bit of crimping, but crimping's pretty basic. Crimp iron, brush it out, textures the fibers. I'm going to do that. To crimp a wig, take small sections at a time and crimp a couple seconds at a time on each little part that you're crimping, and then move the crimping iron down and crimp again and crimp again and crimp again, and then once you're done crimping that section, I go in and brush it out with a brush, and that's pretty much it. And I just go slowly, work in small sections and crimp the whole wig. So this is a lot of wig to crimp, and it's a pretty long wig, so I just go and crimp and watch a movie while I'm crimping. The wig has been fully floofed. Total amount of build time so far is about 9 hours to do the hairline, and then this floofing took about 1.5 hours. So if you're planning on doing this yourself, this is about 10.5 hours worth of work. This hairline is totally optional to do this, so like if you want to save yourself some time, you don't need to go in and do all this hand tying of fiber, but I did, so yeah. The next step is to actually take this wig and floof it as well, because I got to harvest wefts out of there. So I'm either going to harvest the wefts first and then floof, or floof. I'm not sure yet, but oh, hello Toki. Toki says hi. Okay, so I gotta take this off the wig head and put the other wig on there and start floofing those fibers as well. So I just wanted to clarify, the reason I'm harvesting wefts out of this wig is I usually buy packs of wefts for when I have to add in fiber, but I couldn't buy any. They were all sold out. So the second option when you need more fiber for a wig is to harvest wefts out of a second wig. So this is the second wig. I'm just gonna go in and detach all of the wefts from the elastic here, and then pin them to the wig head and floof them. By the way, if you see my cat, he likes to do what I call shirking, which is prowl around for food when it's feeding time. So he likes to make an appearance in my videos when it's about to be food time, and then interrupt my filming and be really cute, but also be in my camera. Hi, buddy. After I harvested all the fibers out of the wig, it was time to crimp all the fibers. So I just pinned the wefts to my wig head and crimped them and floofed them, and did the whole process like I did with the original wig on the wefts. They're just not attached to a wig yet. Wefts have been floofed. So now it's time to attach the wefts to the wig. So Daki has like a big old ponytail, but it also looks like she has a low pony. So what I'm going to end up doing is wefting these into the actual wig itself instead of like installing a separate ponytail, and then basically make a whole bunch of ponytails down the back of the wig, and so I can kind of gather the hair into that, what it looks like. But I'll explain it better when I do it. To add the wefts into the wig, I'm sewing them on. You can sew wefts in, you can glue wefts in. There's different ways of attaching them. I prefer sewing. I use a curved needle, which is a wefting needle, and use white thread and just sew them in. I'm sewing them in along the back of the wig, primarily at the bottom of the wig to extend the wig a little bit, make it a little bit longer, and to add volume where I need it. I don't need volume on the sides or at the front, so that I'm pretty much primarily placing all the wefts down the center back of the wig. After wefting in on the back, the next step that I do is to weft in on the sides of the wig. This is going to be an updo, and this wig is on the cheaper side and does not have fiber covering the nastiness on the sides. So I want to hide that. So what I'm going to do is take some wefts and sew them underneath the wefts so that they can be pulled over the edge and hide that edge so that you don't see any of those nasty weft tracks when you pull all of the hair back. After I've completed all the wefting in, I'm now going to start sectioning the wig. I'm going to start with the front of the wig and start sectioning out the pieces of the hair that I want to style in different sections. I'm going to take pieces and put them in little rubber bands and section out different parts, starting at the front and working my way back. Okay, so I've sectioned out some of the front parts for styling, and so I'm going to pull the rest of this up and back and see where I'm at and start to get the ponytail formed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically make base ponytails in the back and then eventually pull these parts up and over that those sections so I can style the front separately from the fiber in the back. Okay, so I got the ponytail all kind of sectioned out, and now it's time to grab the I can't words. Time to grab the hairspray and start styling these front sections over, and then once everything on the front is styled, before I start styling the ponytail, I'm going to dye the tips, dye the end. I wanted to style the ponytail before I did any sort of dyeing to the wig, because I wanted to make sure that the dye line was straight across, and I'm going to be using the alcohol dye method. I'm not going to be using fabric dye. So what I have here are alcohol marker refills. They aren't the marker themselves. So these are Copic ink refills. I actually have 3 slightly different colors, and I'm going to put them with some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and I'm going to put it in a spray bottle, and then I'm going to spritz the bottom of the wig. That's how I'm going to dye the bottom of the wig green. And I'll show you how to do that when I actually do that. So it's time to style, to make sure that I'm covering over all of the ugly and making sure all of the rubber bands are covered, and I have some extra wefts for wrapping around ponies and getting this all styled up. So let's do that. For styling the front of the wig, I'm just taking the sections and pulling them back and spraying them into place. I'm kind of making these like little tiny like puffy sections, poofy sections, and then tying them off with hair ties to keep them in place and to add them into the ponytail. This is basically just a rinse and repeat process of moving the sections where I want them to be, making them a little poofy, and then spraying them and then heating them and making sure that they stay where I want them to stay. And I'm using pins and clips to keep everything in place while I'm styling, and then making these into little tiny ponies, adding them to the bigger ponytail, and until I'm happy with the results of the styling of the front of the wig. Ha, my battery died, but we're gonna start dyeing now. So I'm gonna tilt you down. Let's see, there. Go put some gloves on. I started testing it out a little bit already, but we're just gonna spritz the wig. So I have exhausted all the ink that was in the spray bottle, but I got pretty good coverage on this so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry and then go at it a second round with probably, I didn't use up all of that ink, but I'm also probably, what I'm probably going to do is go at it a second round with the remainder of that lighter green ink and then go in with the darker green ink at the ends. So I might raise this level up a little bit and then just keep covering with more ink and making sure that it's nice and even. Because I'm probably missing some section. Yeah, see on the bottom here, it's not quite as vibrant. I'm gonna go back in and make sure I get the bottom and make sure every single strand is coated, but I'm gonna let it dry for now and then do a second round of ink dyeing. This is how easy it is to use these ink refills to take the ink out of and put it in the bottle. Squeeze. That's it. You just squeeze them out because these are meant to be refilled into ink pens. So they just squeeze out. They're really super easy. I believe I got this tip from Cowbutt Crunchies. So that's where I got this information from, to use the ink refills, not the actual ink pens. So I'm going to squeeze the rest of this out and then add a little bit of alcohol and do a second layer. All right, once again, I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm gonna let it dry overnight and come back to it tomorrow and see how it looks. Okay, so, wig. It is, oh my God. It is the next day. I just tried it on and it looks amazing. It's really heavy, so I may try and thin out some of the fiber. I don't think there's gonna be really any good way of making it lighter necessarily. It's just because it's all in ponytail in the back. It stays on pretty well with a velvet wig grip though. It's gonna be heavy. But I think once I kind of get the ponytail styled more, the weight will distribute a little bit better. And then it's just kind of some like final touches, and yeah, it's coming along. So now we gotta style the ponytail, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna floof it out up so that it's more like out like this, hiding all of the little rubber bands and making it look more like tentacly, like it does in the show. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. And that's pretty much the last steps. Just then trimming the little sideburns, and that's it. And then the wig will be done. If you've watched this far, we're getting there. Before styling the tentacles, I need to section them out to make sure I have enough fiber for each section, and then prepare for the tentacling. Okay, so now that I have all the pieces sectioned out that I want to section out, I'm gonna start styling them, and that's gonna mean trimming the ends to be like a blunt, like a squared off, because they're blunt and squared off in the show and in all the reference images. So I'm just gonna trim the ends to be blunted off. I'm gonna do that over the trash can. And that's how I'm going to end up styling pretty much the whole entirety of the ponytail. Just making them kind of like come together a little bit with hairspray, and that's gonna be it. Let me do the rest of them. Okay, I can't really see very well without my glasses on, but this is the finished wig on. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting the hair embellishments in from Plexi very soon, and once that's done, I will do a proper photo shoot thing, you know, take photos and video and do makeup and stuff, and actually trim the lace right, and let's see if we can get the back. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Look at the back. Woo, she big, she long, she nice. Here she is, the whole wig and makeup in her full glory. It's kind of hard to see the whole thing, so I'm gonna put the camera down and do a little turnaround for you. Well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching the whole thing, and I'll see you folks in the next video.